These are general readings, so we take what works, we leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this one, go check your other major placements. Also, I post the, if I remember, I post the pictures of the spread at the end of the reading for those of you that want to follow along and check my work or whatever. All right, so let's see. Let's get an intuitive start here with this Oracle of Mystical Moments deck. I'm still so crazy about this deck. I get bored of decks pretty quickly, but this one, nope. Still absolutely nuts about it. All right, Leo. No, that's a lot. I know I love you too, deck, but sometimes this is too much. Sometimes you're just too much. Ooh, that's nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, what is going on here? How are we organizing this? All right, well, let's start on our little booklet. We got a little short story here. Can you hear me? Communication frustration. It takes two to communicate, only one to fuck it up. But you've been trying, it's about communication about a deep emotional thing, and the parties are exhausted. You're not even sure you're getting through. Is anybody even hearing you? What's even going on? You can't see the other person. You can't seem to hear them either. There's been no response. You don't understand the communication issue that's going on here. But one thing you do understand about it is it's exhausting and you're about ready to be done with it. You don't understand what's going on communication-wise. And you're kind of tired of trying to figure it out. Dark Night. I think you've gotten this one a few times. Recently, this is about you are protected in this dark, difficult journey. There's a vibe of protection going on here. There's like this physical protectiveness, and then there's this intellectual protectiveness and protectiveness of your vision and your dream. So that's been needed to happen. There's been a lot of difficulty. There's almost like a teamwork atmosphere here of we're going to get through this dark time and we're going to get through it together, and we're going to each bring our special skills to this thing, and we're going to team up and get through this difficult time. So there is a lot of protection, a lot of help. You are moving. This is acknowledgement that things have not been clear, things have not been easy, things have been incredibly difficult, but you are working together and moving together. Then you have this exploding understandings, realizations, epiphanies coming in, telepathic communications in some ways. You are listening, you're listening, your ears are open now. So this communication issue, maybe you're not feeling heard, but you're definitely listening. You're definitely hearing what the universe has to say. You're getting great messages, intuitive hits. You are open, you are listening, your mind is expanding, you're seeing things, you're connecting the dots everywhere of like, oh, and then that's related to that, and then that's why I made that decision, and then they made that decision because of that. So you're going through a dark time with not a lot of communication, very difficult, but your intuition and your mind is opening and sort of in some ways exploding as you start connecting all these dots, and all this understanding starts flowing into you and flowing towards you as you're going through this. It's very, I want to say eye-opening, but it's going to be like third eye-opening more like than actual eye-opening. Well, I don't think we ever refer to eye-opening as like physical eye-opening. I mean, it's just called waking up or opening your eyes or blinking. It's not, so it's eye-opening in the, yeah. Your intuition is opening up, exploding, connecting so many dots and understanding things all of a sudden, even though there's been this communication problem. The communication problem has been in the physical realm, not on the mental. The mental is wide open. Your mind is wide open. Actually, it's reminding me of sky meditation or of open-minded meditation, where feel your mind is limitless. And it's a really cool meditation. Jack Kornfield does it. He's got some audiobooks that are really cool for guided meditations. Anyway, the mind is that has no limits to it. So you literally visualize it sort of merging with the sky and then merging with the universe beyond that. And it's just there's not a skull, there's not a limitation here. That's what it's reminding me of. So if you can find that Jack Kornfield meditation, it's very cool. I do have a playlist of some meditations, not mine, but other meditations that I like, but it's pretty first introductory. And I'd say like Jack Kornfield's meditations on that, or anyway, so yeah, mind opening, expanding, connecting with the universe, getting hits and downloads and understanding all this and understanding a lot and connecting a lot of dots. And here you have liberty. You are on the cusp of being liberated from some kind of cage, or it could just be liberating from this night ride, could be liberating from this communication, but you are on the door is already open. Some sort of decision has already been made and the door is already open. You just need to hop through it. So something you want and have dreamt about for a long time and wanted is here waiting for you. You may be a little Shawshanked here as far as like not understanding the freedom of the mind. The mind, it's reminding me of Bob Marley's song, Redemption song, of emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. And so here you are free. But your mind is having difficulty seeing it and accepting it and making it happen and leaving it. Maybe not difficulty, but just it's that moment where you're starting to understand something, starting to see something, and starting to get this long-held wish of some kind of freedom or some kind of permission, some kind of something's happening that you've wanted it to happen and you've longed for it. And you're right there. The threshold, the door has been opened. The door has been opened. And then you have this Mermaid's Love card, which is interesting to me because if you're having this difficult communication, you're going to have to take this one because this is two people from two very different worlds. We have the feathery world of the mind, and genders can be switched or fudged or smeared, or whatever. So it's just two entities. We're going to call this two entities. One is deeply emotional, deeply intuitive, internal looking, maybe sometimes a bit messy, bit of a mess, but very, very beautiful in their own right, very comfortable in their own world, very comfortable with where they come from. They come from the sea, they know the sea. And then we have this opposite, we have this intellect, we have this mind, we have this organized person, and they come together, but they only can come together when they respect their own, where they're coming. They can't come together out of weakness and need and feeling like they aren't enough as is, and the world they live in isn't okay. This is like a true equals, both of them, and equal in self-esteem, equal in a sense of self-worth and where they're coming from. So this could be your intellect and your emotions coming together and working together in sync, and neither one hating the other, because sometimes our emotions, our hearts can be like, mind, what the hell is wrong with you? You keep mucking up what I want. And there's that comic, on the internet of the brain and the heart, and they're always like arguing, and the heart's always doing crazy, stupid stuff, and the brain's always... Anyway, but there's a deep respect and equality here, and these two are equals. They are, he may be... a businessman in his realm, and she may be like a queen in her realm, or he may be an executive in his realm and she's a queen in her realm, but they're coming together as equals, as actual equals here. So it's just two entities, could be within you, could be without. And then we have Flower Spirit. So this has been a really popular card lately. And this is sort of the doula. I don't want to call her a midwife. I want to call her a doula because she's here to bring comfort as you go through, as you blossom, as you crack open and experience these freedoms, and the sun begins to pierce your inner soul, just to be very extra dramatic about it. But she's very, this is a spirit. This is also here in this card too. You're having two of being guided, and not just guided, but supported and helped. You have sort of these fairy lights around you, these little spirits and fairies here to help you, because we're acknowledging that something has been extremely difficult. It could be that this thing is about this communication being liberated finally, this stopped up frustration being liberated and freed. Or it could be you being like, fuck this, I cannot not communicate with somebody, I gotta be free, and then you are getting that here. So I also want to say with the Flower Spirit, there's something very, it's like a little mini angel. It's like a little baby angel. And I want to talk a little bit briefly about unconditional love and our ancestors. So many of us have ancestors that were, for many very good reasons and terrible reasons, and reasons we could probably have some compassion for if we knew them and understood them completely. They were unable to provide unconditional love while they were here on earth. Their love was, if they could be said to have it at all, was inexpert. All of us love inexpertly at best, just doing our best and sharing. But some people are really blocked on that, and some people are so blocked they don't even appear to be trying, right? But after we pass on, we enter, we return back to the source, and we turn back to unconditional love, the source of all unconditional love, where everyone is worthy, and we're all worthy of that love, because it's what brought us into existence to begin with. So so when our ancestors return to that, their love is purified. So your ancestors can be with you, only they're not the assholes you remember them. They're like their perfected versions, and their love isn't the conditional bullshit that you had to deal with here that also created some blocks for you. But their love is pure. And anyway, that's a message that's been coming to me with that card recently. And so when I see it, I feel like I need to share that message, that your ancestors can be with you and be helping you, and not be the asshole you remember them as. They can be they're purified, their love having been become unconditional, with having reconnected with the source of unconditional love. So there is unconditional love here. Whether you can see it or not, you are loved. You are, even if you are going through a difficult time, I think we just all need to hear that message. We are deeply loved by the universe, and there's nothing we can do to change that, earn it, make it better, make it more. It's unconditional. All right, here's your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Gotcha. Okay, I love this because it's in the same position. These cards are sort of mimicking each other even as they're laid out. So in your recent past, you have the Seven of Swords. So Seven of Swords is sort of open conflict that should have been engaged in, but instead Seven of Swords can really be someone stopped talking, and they stopped talking about it, and they stole the swords, because swords are communication and truth. And then rather than having it out with a battle of ideas and truths, and people sharing their truths, and having an open battle, someone was like, you know what, I don't want to do that, and they stole them all. They've hoarded all of the ideas, all of the communication. They're not sharing, they're not talking. There's just been a massive breakdown in communication, a lack of communication. This can be a card, this is in your recent past, So I would say a card warning about stealing, about sneakery, about people being sneaky. So this could be you, or this could be somebody else in the environment. Although I'm getting this like frustration, not feeling heard, lack of communication issue right back here. This is lack of communication. This can easily be a lack of communication issue. It could be a lack of communication issue of like, hey, I'm taking your barbecue off your front porch. I'm relieving you of that. I'm not, I thought I'd tell you I'm taking it. I mean, so it could be stealing without announcing it, or sneaking or something like that. But with this other card here, it almost looks like someone just stopped talking and ended all discussions, does not want to talk about it anymore, doesn't want to argue about it anymore, and has created an unfair dynamic because of that. Because it does take two to talk and two to work it out and two to tango. I don't know who got my tango lecture the other day, but it takes two to tango and only one to kick the other person in the shins and walk off the dance floor, right? So communication takes two people working to make that beautiful. Somebody can definitely sneak off with it and fuck it all up. Like one person, it takes two to make it work and only one to fuck it up. And so that can be happening with this communication here. In your present situation, you're dealing with some sort of inheritance stuff. Inheritance might be an issue here. This is 10 of Pentacles. This is legacies. So it could be like you are thinking about, what are you going to leave for your family? What are you going to leave for your kids? What kind of legacy, what kind of money, it could be money, but it can also be, in my opinion, family legacies of family ideas, family opinions. I mean, we also have this thing talking about family that's gone on before you. So, but this could be talking about, a legacy of ideas that we inherited from our family, for good or for bad. But this tends to be, the pentacle tends to be the peak. So you could be talking about like, oh, this is as good as this financial situation gets. And you could be talking about just finances as far as family finances and like the whole thing, and legacies and generations, and either you're bequeathing or you're receiving or something like that. So this has been going on in your present situation, something about inheritances and money and family money, and the money that a family has together, and how that's set aside for other generations. So there's also something intergenerational here, as far as elders and givers and receivers. It's usually elders and juveniles in the same family dynamic, talking about what's going to be what is passing between those in a family. What's on your mind and your psyche? We have this 10 of Wands, this desire to set down a burden that you don't feel was ever yours to carry, or you're starting to realize that this wasn't your burden. You've been carrying other people's anxieties, other people's worries, other people's bullshit that was never yours to carry, never yours to hold, and never a burden that you, maybe there's a burden that you haven't never signed up for, that you never got a chance to say yay or nay to. You're just like, so you're thinking about laying down a burden, something that's been heavy for you to carry, something, it could be other people's expectations, other people's needs, I think you're hoping to set down some sort of burden that's been on your mind and on your back for a while. You're coming to an end of something. A very difficult cycle is what the 10 of Wands is about. So that's on your mind. Hoping, probably, this position is, I call it internal landscape, but it can also be called hopes and fears. So this would definitely be one of those situations where you are hopeful of setting the burden down, but you're also terrified of setting the burden down. And I think we got a reading like that a couple weeks ago, of just both hoping and fearing something. So you could be worried, because when you do set this burden down, there's a lot of conflict that happens, because people were expecting you to carry their burden, and it was working for them, and it was fine for them, for you to carry their burden. And it's not necessarily malicious, it's just the way people are. And when something's working for us, we want it to continue. But when someone says, oh, well, that's not working for me, it feels very unfair. So I think you're really worried about, you're both hopeful to set a burden down that you've carried for a long time, and both worried about what's going to happen when you set that burden down. In your at issue is the Empress. So in the upright, this is having everything we need, having feeling our own abundance, being self-sufficient. And so this is in reverse, and this could be related to this Ten of Pentacles inheritance card, because this is feeling a lack, feeling like there isn't enough to go around, that you don't have everything you need. It could be this, like feeling entrapped, that you don't have what you've been longing for. When you actually do have what you've been longing for, you just aren't able to access it yet. So you might actually have everything you need, you just don't feel like you have everything you need. So so yeah, the Empress reverse is feeling a lack, not feeling the abundance, not feeling like there's enough, maybe not enough money, maybe not enough time, maybe not enough attention, maybe not enough enough resources. It just feels like there's just a general lack, and not feeling powerful, not feeling in charge, not feeling sure of yourself and confident. In your environment, you have the Magician. So somebody around you knows what to say, knows what to do, knows how to get what they want. They've acquired all of the tools, and they know how to put them together and bring something to fruition. So you've either met somebody, or this is a vibe, or this is something going on around you, as someone who does have all the tools. You don't feel like you have all the tools, but somebody does have the tools you need to bring something to fruition. It's not you, because you don't feel like you do, and you're feeling very burdened, but there is somebody in your environment that does have that does have those tools and is willing to share them with you. This could be a therapist that has that's going to help you unlock something, help you manifest better communication, a blossoming, a growing, and an opening. That would match a lot of what this card feels like, opening your mind. This could be anybody though, or any kind of vibe here where that things are coming together. Things are coming together to make a dream happen and a dream come true. So, but that's going on in your environment. Where you're at, what you need to be doing is this Four of Swords. Look how faded this card is, right? Fading out, taking a nap, taking a break. This is all about, like, these were put down. If you putting these burdens down, right? Put those burdens down and then take a nap. And this nap is for the purpose of rejuvenation, planning out your next steps. It's that time when you're done with your out breath. You've expelled, you've released, you've expelled the out breath. And then you pause. And then you do the in breath. So it's that pause between letting something go and taking something in. You need to pause, you need to rest, you need to nap. This card comes with a warning too. If you do not nap, if you do not take the break that is being offered to you, you could be courting illness, sickness, bigger problems. This is a very clear, this card does not equivocate. There's no, maybe you should take a nap. This is like, take a nap, take a break, rest, relax, find your rejuvenation. Just rest. It can be so difficult in our culture, especially with this perceived, with worth being perceived as something, how much you do and how much you work. And you know, how busy you are and all of that. I mean, that's one of my favorite things about coronavirus isolation, is that your self-worth cannot be connected to how busy you are right now. For many of us, that's not going to work. You're going to have to find some other place to have some self-worth, and it's got to be inherent here. So your busyness your busyness will be a problem here. If you remain busy, you've got to take a break, take a time out, rest, because your inhale, when you're ready to inhale after you've rested, after this exhale, you rest, you inhale, and brand new beginning. The Fool, leaping off into the future. Are there going to be problems? You bet there are going to be problems, but we can handle them. We're good. We're going to go. New journey, starting the whole storyline of the tarot all over again. Level 0, start again. New beginner mind. Maybe that's what this map does. It gets you into beginner mind and to taking a leap of faith forward into some bright, shining future. These clouds have cleared and you need to cross this threshold and spread your wings and fly. Yeah. All right, Leo, I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for your likes and your comments and your subscribes. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful week.